Okay, is my volume working now? Uh, Are we back on? Okay, so I think going here is my volume working now? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a bit annoying. I said a lot of funny stuff at the beginning, but my volume wasn't working. So that's a bit sad. It's surprising how like slightly complicated OBS is. It's not very complicated, but you just like there's a few things you have to do right, and if you mess them up, it's awkward. So I was distracted by that. Okay, we're back. So the thing right now is that this bishop is pinning this pawn, which means that this square is vulnerable. But I think maybe I can go. So I'm gonna go here. This is of course a very like double-edged situation, but I think we're not dead yet. Yeah, so I could have moved my knight here, but then, oh, well, I didn't see that. He took my knight, and now this is mate. Okay. Well, that's what I get for being distracted. All right, third time's a charm. So what I was rambling about at the beginning was that I was thinking I might want to do some opening study this stream. Now I kind of hate doing opening study. I don't know how to do it. I played when I was a kid I played regular chess. I don't know what you call it, like regular chess or chess classic. Well, I guess if this is Crazyhouse, then regular chess would be Sane House. So I played Sane House chess when I was a kid, and I was alright, not like some kind of those crazy prodigies who are grandmasters when they're 4 or whatever, but I wasn't bad. But I just did not care about studying openings. And so I just never did that. So I never learned how one goes about studying chess openings. So I'm not going to know how. So I won't, if I try to study openings, I won't know how to do that, but I'll try to figure it out. Because as I said while my mic was off, I think that if I'm playing like a 2300 or something, then I'm not going to do too well if I don't know any openings, because I'm just going to get worse positions out of the opening every time. So what do we got going on? I think we want to just try to get in here so he can. Okay, he didn't sack. He could have sacked his queen. I think we take this. Now I need to be quite careful because a knight can come to h3, for example, and start doing stuff. I wonder if right now I can not take this knight, because I don't know if this knight is actually threatening me. So his start would be knight check, and then I must take. Rook here check. I think I have to take, but he doesn't have another knight, and I don't think he has a. So like he can go knight takes, pawn takes, but I'm pretty covered actually by my pieces, and so I think I don't need to take this. and I can go here. And this is good because, like, I'm threatening mate, right? So rook at one of these two squares would be checkmate. He could take the knight with the queen, but then I'm taking back with check, which is very important. And I didn't see a way for him to get a checkmate right now. Like rook at h1, king takes, knight at g3 doesn't work because I have too many defenders. Okay, he's gone here. Well, now I can also just take the knight, of course. Let's see. So pawn here, bishop takes, rook check here. I think I better take with the rook if I'm gonna take. Alright, maybe I should drop a rook here in order to occupy that. So we have two knights in hand. So I feel like we should have something here. I feel like we should be able to make some kind of mate happen. Okay, this is a good move. It's defending a lot of stuff, and it's also putting a bunch of pressure on me. So I'm just going to block that because I don't see how to proceed with my attack. I can drop a pawn here and kick that rook. This bishop is hanging. I can trade this bishop and then put a knight at e7. Let's see. Takes. Let's go here. Okay. I think this is looking good. Ooh. Okay. So now he'll take this probably. I'm going to look to upgrade my rook to a queen. If he moves the queen, so this is still okay. Now, can I just take this bishop? I think I can just take that bishop. So this bishop is hanging, but what does he have otherwise? Knight here. This might be bad if knight... No, okay. Oh, I don't have any pawns. I didn't realize I had 0 pawns. That's a bit unfortunate. If I had a pawn, this would be really, really strong because a rook would come to one of these squares. So now I think I have to play a defensive move basically, which is... Oh, this is actually quite bad. Queen is threatening to take on f1. Yeah, this is really bad actually. Alright, I'm going to do this to defend. But I might still be in trouble if knight here is strong. I think if knight here I have to take. But then he's like... I cannot go here because... yeah. Let's see, takes. Okay. This is unfortunate. So I think this is going to just kill me. I messed that up. I wish I didn't mess that up. So this should be mate somehow for the opponent. I wonder... Let's check for a missed opportunity in this game once it's over. Right. That's a good move. So he sealed me off. He sealed off my escape route and then delivered the final check. So let's just take a look at that game. Okay. So I'm usually like playing h6 pretty early, and the reason is you just want to seal that right up. You don't want the opponent to be able to drop a pawn on h6, attacking my bishop, supported by his bishop. It's just it just gets messy. There's no reason to allow that. Okay. So it's actually important that we have moved our knight to c6 before we drop a pawn on h3. And one of the main reasons is that the knight defends e7. You see, in this situation, if my knight was on b8 still, or if it came to d7, then pawn at e8 would be like maximally annoying. Okay, I guess I'll go here. He can reasonably... The thing is, if he takes and I take the queen, his knight is still hanging. His knight is hanging. Okay. So I'm not sure what to do right now. I'm going knight here. This doesn't actually have a direct plan, but I'm pressuring various squares on his king side. I'm also kind of subtly defending this square. So I have no problem sacking a queen. I don't really want a bishop hanging out here, and I don't need to let it, so I won't. Yeah. It's just supporting this knight. I should keep an eye out for this. So now he's attacking my f6 square. Oh, I can't go here because then rook takes knight, followed by knight at f6. But I think it should be fine to do this. And I'm reasonably happy if he wants to trade this knight, because I would kind of like to have a rook in hand. Right, so now he's pressuring this more. We can defend it more. Alright. So what's my plan? Okay, what's he doing here? He may just be taking on e7 or on b7. Can I attack more? Let's try this. So part of my idea here is basically, okay, we really gotta watch out for this, because very quickly my position here can collapse. Like, I want to take this, and I possibly should just do it anyway. So knight takes. If king takes, I think that's pretty good for me. I have a pawn in hand. I can drop a knight back to h5 check. If king comes back, like, the opponent's like pretty close to getting mated. Probably not mated because he can run away, but that's a quite good position. However, knight takes pawn, and then what if knight takes this pawn? Pawn takes, bishop takes. I drop a pawn here. And then bishop takes, pawn takes, rook takes bishop, king takes rook, king takes knight. No, maybe that's all right. So I don't know. So this may be very risky. So for example, knight here. Yeah, but it feels like I'm kind of holding. So like rook takes g7, king takes g7, queen at e7 check, and I drop a rook to f7, and I'm well supported. Okay, but he's going into it. Yeah, I looked at this for like 1 second, and I thought it was fine, because I don't see... So, okay, maybe he's going queen here. Is that his idea? Yeah, okay. this makes sense for him. But I'm not like, I don't think I'm in huge trouble immediately. So I think I can drop a knight here, and this is pretty strong. I'm hitting the queen. I'm supporting h6 for potentially dropping another knight here, or dropping a pawn here, dropping a pawn here. That's pretty interesting. Not sure I understand. So this knight is protecting e6, so he can't drop a knight there. He doesn't really have other checks. Like he... Wait, wasn't my king already on this square? Okay, he basically, I think he just basically changed his mind. He was like, oh, I want to... Yeah. Okay, now if I go pawn here... Okay, so he can get a knight. So now he can take my knight, and then he can drop a bishop here, and then he can get a check and get my rook. I think right now I can... Maybe this is bad. No, I think it's alright. So he can get my rook. Fair enough. Oh no, did I screw up? I screwed up. Knight here. Knight at h6. Okay. I think that was a missed opportunity for my opponent. I think knight at h6 would have been kind of devastating. Because then basically king had to go to h7 or h8, in which case... Wait, rook here? Oh, the bishop would be pinned if my king moved to g7. That's funny. I like that. Normally I would go bishop here, king here, and then this rook would be kind of hanging and hard to defend. But in that position... oh, he might go bishop here? Wait. Oh, that was a pawn. Okay. Thought it might have been a knight. That would have sucked. Okay. Yeah, we are in trouble. Alright. I had to keep the queen out, so I could not take this. I mean, I could have, but then bishop at g7 check would have been a significant issue. Wait, really? Rook takes? That's surprising. Okay. Okay, now I think the knight was good here. Okay. So he may just put a pawn on the 7th rank. No, okay. Alright, we have an opportunity. Let's try to make the most of it. Unfortunately, I don't see how to get a queen with check. I can get a queen with not check. If you can't get a queen with check, get a queen with not check. Now, am I getting completely mated? Yeah, if I take this, I'm in big trouble because bishop here. So I better not do that. Wow. Oh no. Oh, queen here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Are we mated? Only move? Ah. That's frustrageous. Okay. My opponent might be done with this. Okay. Well, thanks for the good games, Jose Tejeda. Okay, so in this previous game, not the one we just played, but before, we did miss opportunities. Yeah, I mean, this does seem really good. So I played rook takes knight, which computer thinks is fine. It thinks this is better. I did look at this. This was an idea in my head, but I didn't look at it. I guess I didn't look at it carefully enough. So if pawn takes, then good games, buddy. Thank you, Chepin TV. So if pawn takes, then what's the killer blow here? So let's see. Let's turn off the computer analysis so we can think on our own. So pawn takes rook. So let's say we go pawn check. Can he just escape this way? So bishop check. Chepin equals Jose. Oh, it's Jose Tejeda in the YouTube chat. You play very good. I'm off to bed. We play another. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Jose / Chepin. Yeah, that was fun. Appreciate the games. So if bishop check, so he could block or he could run. If he runs, now I'm probably mating because like queen here, he must take and then takes, and then like rook check here, knight check here. So this is sort of like somewhat of a mate by assumption once we get that rook. So that was the idea of rook takes bishop. So pawn takes, pawn check. So if king here, bishop here is probably quite strong. If king here, then, so we could try, so one thing we could do is not check and actually just drop a piece here and just ramp up the pressure. Like it's really, really hard to defend this. I don't even know how you defend this. Like the thing is like, let's say you go knight here. So in this position you can't do that because bishop takes knight. But even if I didn't have bishop takes knight, like, you know, I'm gonna drop, knight takes, must take, bishop takes, king takes, and you're not mated, but well, you're not mated. Okay, maybe that's not the right attack. So rook takes, pawn takes. So I mean, I want to understand this because the reason I want to understand this is that there might be like a pattern here that you can abstract. Like a really simple pattern you can abstract is the classic Crazyhouse smothered mate with like, you know, if the king is over here and the rook is here and you got the normal pawns, like if, or I'll do it here. So if my king were here and the rook was here, like a normal castle, then a classical kind of attack, a classic attack in Crazyhouse is knight drops to a3, check. And then if you can't take it for whatever reason, like if it's pinned, then king comes to a1, only move, and then rook or queen drops from hand to b1, check. The knight defends b2, and then rook takes b2, and then knight takes c2, checkmate, smothered mate. In that game, Chepin TV, aka Jose Tejeda, says, in that game I was very lost. Just take the b that is hanging, and I have no attack. My king was naked. Oh, take the bishop that was hanging. Yeah, I could take this bishop for sure. Does the computer agree that this is just lost? Oh, computer doesn't... I don't know if this is what you mean by taking this bishop, but the computer thinks that taking the bishop isn't even that good. Maybe the computer's wrong. I mean, maybe the computer is seeing something for black that's like weird and not something a human would play, but yeah, I definitely felt that I had something strong here, but I guess I didn't play the right attack. Anyway, so the reason I'm looking at this in so much detail is that, yeah, I do feel like I have, okay, so the computer does say here, and then if king here, right, that was another option. Believe the computer, but I saw that and thought I was lost. You saw queen takes, like you saw queen takes knight, So queen takes knight. So like if I just take the queen. Oh, somehow you do have an attack, at least in this position. Right, so then rook here. Yeah, so rook here basically forces my king to take, and then knight comes to h4, which leads to mate. So like rook, we'll just play that. So yeah, rook, king, and then knight, and then wherever my king moves, queen at g2 is going to be checkmate. No human would do queen take. Yeah, that's fair. So the computers, so Jose is saying that, like in this position, Jose is saying, well, white can just take the bishop and like the king is in big trouble. No attack. No attack at the moment. The knight's still hanging. I got lots of attack and I'm up. I'm not necessarily up material, but I'm not really even down material. The computer's saying queen takes knight is winning for black, or like advantage black. And Jose is saying, well, no one would ever do that, which is fair. I think that like Jan Lee would do that. I think Jan Lee might see like, yeah, like queen takes knight. Now I have two knights and now this is a real threat. So rook can't just take back. And if the rook can't take back or the bishop can't take back, then this is actually good because you basically won a knight and there's no immediate mate for white on the black king without taking the queen. So I think Jan Lee might have, or like a world-class player, like a 2700, might have played queen takes knight, but us mere mortals wouldn't play that. So yeah, rook takes bishop would have been strong in this position. The computer's still saying that this is really good. Anyway, so what else happened in this game? So I'm still good here, and here the computer agrees, but rook takes bishop is winning. What did I do? So I did pawn here. I guess that's too slow? Or no, it's not that it's too slow, it's that it lets the knight in here. I guess this is a pretty complicated position. Wow, okay, now I'm already worse here. Or it's going back and forth. So you get this often in Crazyhouse. It's possible that it's because the engine is... So if you do like the engine analysis on lichess for Crazyhouse, first of all, you often get these like crazy spikes. Now, in some sense, this is a skill issue where like these crazy spikes up and down, white's winning, black's winning, white's winning. In some sense, it's a skill issue where it means that I missed an opportunity and then my opponent missed an opportunity and then I missed an opportunity, which is true. That did happen. On the other hand, first of all, the engine is a little wonky in that, or at least this, I don't really know what this analysis thing is, but it kind of, it like pre-computes analysis, but then if you actually like run the engine on a move, you can see it goes up and down. But also it's just a feature of Crazyhouse that like you very often get into very double-edged positions. And so the actual objective evaluation probably does swing back and forth a whole lot because it's like very sharp. Like now my opponent has some strong attack here. And this is terrible. Okay, so ooh, okay. So this I should have seen. So I guess I kind of carelessly played, well, I was in some time trouble, but I played this bishop move. I really shouldn't have done that. I should have been able to see in this position that going bishop here leads to a king that is, you wouldn't necessarily call this a safe king. Oh, I still missed, yeah, rook here. Okay, so the computer is saying actually this is still great for white because rook here. So like rook here. Let's think about this. So rook here, king takes, knight check, No, I still don't see how this is. What's the point? So maybe rook here. Maybe it's rook here, king takes, and then knight here check. Does that? No. How am I getting him if he just goes back to? Oh, what am I saying? Of course, bishop takes, pawn. Jeez. Okay, so bishop takes pawn. Now, if king comes back, if king runs back, then I guess we only check is here. King comes here. So now we go check, king here, queen. Well, maybe that's not that good. Huh. Okay, I don't actually understand this yet. So this is a nice, like, sort of a randomly found little puzzle here. Like surely, well, I guess the computer thinks there's mate, but we don't know why. Am I blind? Am I just not seeing the devastating attack? So knight check, king here. So I can't really drop a knight here, here, here. Like if I go here, then queen takes knight. Oh, I'm being a bit silly, maybe. Okay. Pawn here, king here, queen check. He blocks with something, and then I can go knight here, check. And then king comes here. The issue is the rook is hanging. Knight here check. Knight h6 check. Well, the rook is hanging. Oh, you meant before? Oh, here. Knight h6 check. Ah, and now the bishop is open. Yeah, that's good. Well, okay, so knight h6, knight takes, or pawn takes. Okay, that's very good. So Jose in the chat is also, I'm not sure when he was saying knight h6 check, but okay, so bishop takes. If the king is coming back, here, knight check, king here, knight h6 check, this leads to mate because now the bishop is knight h7 double check. Knight h7 checkmate or double check? No. Knight f6 check, yeah. Right, so like if king here, I see the mates here. Yeah. Knight h7 is mate, and then also if king comes here, then knight in hand to f7 is checkmate. So bishop here, and if king here, then like pawn here, and if king comes here, then knight f7 is mate. If king comes here, then we queen, and then we go knight h7 mate. Smiley face. Yeah, exactly. On the other hand, if king comes up, this is almost a mate by assumption. This is what Janley calls an ass mate, which is short for assumed mate or a mate by assumption, which means if you take the knight, then nf6 check and bg7 checkmate. If you take the knight, I'm not sure where you mean take the knight. If you take the knight, then knight f6 check and bg7 check. bg7? Where was... Oh, you mean like if I go knight h6 at some point? like king here, knight h6, take the knight, then nf6 check and bg7 check. Oh, I see what you're saying. I think you mean here, knight f6 check, and then like the bishop is cutting off here, the rook is cutting off here, the knight hits this square, and then king here or here. Drop a bishop or a pawn on g7 finishes the game. When I do knight h6 check, you have the option of g takes knight. Yeah. I think that's what Jose means. Conversely, if rook here, here, bishop takes and king comes up, then here I don't see the mate necessarily, but it's sort of an assumed mate. Yes, good. Yeah, we got it. Yeah, that's a good point. Here I'm just like, there's got to be a mate. I mean, there doesn't actually got to be a mate, but there's probably a mate. I mean, I don't know. So like knight here. And part of my point with knight here is actually looking at this square, because like the rook makes this little cage, but there's a hole in the cage, which is that the king can come over and take the rook. But forget about the mate, do nf4 check and take the queen. Well, yeah, I can take the queen, but the thing is, like, you have a bunch of stuff in hand. So I might be fine. I'm probably fine. But I'm not sure. I guess I'm fine because in this position, if knight here check, I go here. And if knight h3 check, I also go here, and then the smothered mate doesn't work because the smothered mate would be here, and then if I take with the rook, this is mate, but here because my knight is on e2. So maybe that's Jose's point, is the knight on e2 looks at g2, and then this is not smothered mate because the rook is still there defending. And the opponent can like try to attack, but it doesn't. But the opponent doesn't have like doesn't have the initiative. And now here I can whatever attack, and I have plenty of stuff in hand, so I can just attack. So that's a fair point by Jose. There's also probably a mate here, but anyway, that's enough of that. Okay, in this game I had nothing. Wait, why is this? Okay, this is frozen. Rook takes g7 and etc. Yeah, I think basically anything would work in that position. That's another ass mate. Is my is this broken? No. All right, let's see if someone else is around to play. Yeah, thanks for those games, Jose. Okay, we have International Master Elistratov Semyon, 1975. Hello, I am Elistratov Semyon. Thank you. See you later. I'm deaf off to bed. 6:27 a.m. and I am still awake, lol. Uh-oh. You're one of those night owls. The witches of the night. Yeah, sleep tight. Okay, so we have a a reasonably normal structure. I'm wondering if I can do something a little weird, like castle queenside and push h4. It's kind of unnecessary, but I guess I want to experiment a bit. It would be really nice to have a pawn. I would even consider... Okay, I was going to say... I could still consider it. Like if I had a pawn, I would put it on h6. What if I go here? So castling queenside is often kind of dubious. I don't know fully why. Part of it is that the opponent can push pawns, although I can also push pawns. Part of it is that you have to waste a move playing king b1. If you don't play king b1, then you quite often get into trouble because the a2 pawn is hanging. The a1 square is not defended by your king, which means that a heavy, like a rook or a queen, can drop to a1 and make your king really claustrophobic. And finally, the opponent can drop something on a3 and kind of often like gets an additional tempo, because if your king is still on c1, like a bishop or queen on a3 is doing stuff to you. Okay, rook here. So he's defending his b4 pawn. That's true. I did want to take it with my queen. So good point. I wonder if I can... So like he's definitely has threats, like knight or bishop coming to a3 or c3. This is big pressure. I think I should be able to do this. He might go bishop c3 or something. Maybe I can just take that. I don't know. Here, pawn takes. Oh. So he's giving a whole rook. The bishop can take this pawn. But then if you take this, you don't have your bishop anymore because I take it. I think I'd take the rook. So I can also take the pawn. That gets like a tempo, but... wait, I could have won the queen. Oops. Okay. Don't want to miss things like that. Yeah, I could have won a queen there. All right. So clearly we're under significant pressure at the moment. We might be holding. Oh no. I'm playing a bit slow. Oh no. I can't go king b1 because this is mate. Good game. I guess we're done. Okay, let's see if there's someone else. One game in play. What? Oh. I am Mago di Riga. Mago? 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 Di Riga? Is that Italian? D-I? So we have 2 second increment, which is not enough increment. You want at least 3 seconds. But we'll see what we can do. So I'm going to sack on h3. Oh no. So my opponent has stymied my sacrifice. This is often good, but not if the bishop is on that square. Uh-oh. Here, there. Yeah, I don't like playing this fast, really. Oops. That's just a mistake. Alright, I'm kind of treading water here. Or barely treading water. Oh, knight. Okay, I want to take this. Okay, here's my plan. Bishop takes pawn. That's my plan. Right. So the square is really weak. Bishop takes pawn, threatens. Wait, why did he see it the first time and then forgot? I think my opponent forgot about this. Okay, so we go pawn here. Now we have a mate threat, queen there, and my opponent does not stop it, so we have the checkmate. Okay, 1 game. Okay, let's okay, we're playing Dahlia Lynn, 2179. No increment, so I will have to I may have to be a bit quiet. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I'm not really cut out for this like super fast chess. It's not really my style. I guess the people probably like it. Well, maybe the people want my commentary. If you want my commentary, I'm not going to play 1 minute too much. Really? Oh no, queen. Whoops. Whoopsie. Whoopsie schmoopsie. What? Excuse me, sir. And or ma'am. Check. Take all your pieces. I take you. You take me. Oh my god, no. Okay. I think my opponent had like mate there, but having mate is different than playing mate. Important to remember. Like, for example, here. I definitely have mate, but am I going to play mate? I don't know. Oh, pawn here would have been so much better than what I did. That sucks. I saw that right after I didn't play it. Oh my god, my opponent's escaping. What the heck? What 3 heck? Oh, I can't believe this. This is the worst thing that's ever happened. No one has ever... Oh my god. Ah. Alright. I'm gonna cry a little bit more. Like, I just... Like, I was... Like, everyone knows that I was winning that game. In terms of position. Yeah. Time is part of the game. That's very true. But, like, it's a less interesting part of the game. The interesting part of the game is, like, all the interesting parts of the game. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. So the reason I played rook b1 is to cut the king off preemptively. Like, I want to do this, but it's important that my opponent doesn't escape too much. Well, I guess I'm allowing him to escape anyway, which is bad. And now I don't have time to figure out... Like, there's obviously winning... Okay, I'm not playing this thing. Alright, good game, thank you. What's the point of all my beautiful moves if I'm just going to run out of time? Our rating is all the way down to 2079. That's not good. How am I going to win if my rating is that low? I'm going to go back to... I forget the name. It might have been Pacific Ocean. Also VR developer. I lost a number of games too, but Pacific Ocean. I played a little while ago. And... Oh, Pacific Dreams. So against Pacific Dreams, I kept getting kind of bad openings. Is this bad? This is fairly bad. Wait, did I resign here? Oh. What? Wait, I'm like down a bunch of stuff. So in this position, I'm already down a piece for no reason, basically. Well, what actually happened? Oh, did I just hang a piece? Okay. In this position, we hang a piece. So don't hang a piece in the opening. Got it. That's a good lesson. All right, we did our opening study for today. The lesson is don't hang a piece. All right, we're playing. Someone has accepted my 1+6. This is back in my hometown of 6-second increment. Nice and comfortable. So we're playing A-cos. 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 Okay, bishop to F5. Let's just develop. So usually we play bishop to F4 instead. Maybe that is better. It is more aesthetic or something. Right. That's a bit annoying. Say bishop takes. So the sole reason I did that was this. I want to dislodge this pin. Oh, he's not letting me. Well, I can at least do that. So what do I want to do? So a simple thing to do would be bishop takes knight, bishop takes bishop, and then just push this pawn. Takes. Why do I want to do that? Well, it erodes his king position. Okay, bishop takes, pawn here, pawn. Could also take here, but then bishop takes here. Knight takes. Okay, I think he cannot actually do that. So maybe that's good. Let's do that. So my point is basically pawn takes, knight takes. And if not pawn takes, I will probably push to e5. Oh. Right. That makes sense. So part of the, I guess, like the principle yeah, so if so my opponent, that was like an advanced good play by my opponent, because so here he can just take. If he hadn't taken the knight here, then in this position, knight takes bishop would have, I think, won a piece, basically. Because if queen takes knight, the bishop takes bishop, knight takes, bishop takes bishop, knight takes bishop, whatever. I think my position is still fine. This pawn is hanging. But I'm looking, so a simple way to get pressure would be this, although right now the bishop is on that diagonal, so it's not that much pressure. I could try something like putting a pawn here or a bishop here. So bishop here, pawn here, pawn here. Pawn takes bishop, pawn takes thing, bishop here, pawn here. I don't know how to evaluate this. And actually, you know what? In this position, I could fall back and then go for pawn at h6 next move. No, I think I do want to try this. I mean, my point is just going to be pawn at f6. That's the idea. It might like kind of be nothing. My point is basically just bishop takes looks kind of bad to me, because then I take back, And now if queen takes, I go knight here. The knight is protected, the queen is being attacked, and the bishop is coming to g7. So this was my idea, and I guess it happened. It may not be that strong, though, is the thing. So if I do this, if I go bishop here, you know what? I can actually go bishop here, and then just take this pawn. Or rather, oh, I didn't see that. Well, I can take this pawn if I want. Now the pawn is coming to g7, so he will maybe put a pawn there, and then I might go here. I might be wasting my time or something. But I think he doesn't want to give me a rook, and I don't see him attacking it immediately. Maybe he'll go bishop here. If he goes bishop here, he's threatening this pawn, and he's also threatening pawn from hand to h3. So that could be a good attack for him. Although, maybe pawn at e4 by me is strong. I wonder if he's going to sack his queen here. Knight there. I didn't see this coming at all. What is the point of that? One point is that he is maybe getting an open thingy file thing. I don't understand this at all. If he takes back now, he doesn't get, well, his rook isn't on the open file. Okay, he was supporting this attack, but wait, okay. This is actually really confusing now, and I might just be losing a bunch of material. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Ugh. Oh, wait. My bishop is here. Let's pretend that I saw that the whole time. Okay. Pawn here. Now I must defend or something. Takes there. Ugh. So I'm playing rook here because this stops some of the threats. Oh, wait, he has knight here check. Okay, that's important that I see that. Knight here check would lead to mate because bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, and then the king must come up and stuff. All right, so he's threatening rook here mate, so I must take, and I'm losing. That's kind of sad. I wonder if I missed an opportunity. I might have just been lost that whole time, but it's a good game though. It's interesting that I'm playing worse. I only got 4 hours of sleep, but I got a lot of sleep the day before. I kind of thought that caffeine caffeine plus good sleep the previous day would be enough. Guess not. So he might be trying to castle queenside. Or he might be going, yeah, okay. I wonder if he'll do like my queen sack thing. That would be cool. It's probably his pawn here. Yeah. So this is actually like hazardous because the g5 square is vulnerable for like a knight drop. I mean, we're not trading queens anytime soon, but if we traded queens, I would just be losing because knight here, pawn takes, knight check, and then my king cannot come back because queen at h7, and then king comes up. King comes up and king goes up but does not come down. All right. So now I always have in my back, in the back of my head, this pawn here, pawn at d2 idea. So I'm playing a slightly silly thing. The reason I'm playing the silly thing is that I was very annoyed by my queen in this position, because it would just take me like several moves to get my queen, out so that my rook could get out. Then I guess I'm changing my mind. Instead, I'm doing this. And I'll pretend that the reason I sacrificed my bishop was to have another pawn in hand to make this attack be stronger. Yeah, let's go with that. How about pawn here? And if pawn takes, queen takes, we're attacking the knight? Actually, right now he can go pawn. No, that's not. I was going to say right now he could go pawn, or knight, g4, g5. All right, well, I did like help my opponent by opening up this thing, the rook. Okay, pawn here, rook here. That doesn't do anything. I feel like I should be able to get something, but I haven't gotten something. So queen takes, pawn there. Yeah, this is like kind of hazardous. Let's see, queen here, rook here. Actually, maybe I should do that. So I'm probably just going to sack my queen, but I am also... Oh, he's still at the castle? I didn't realize that. Free pawn, yay. I don't know what to do. I can go pawn here. Yeah, my next move might be pawn from hand to g3. We also have this check, which is interesting. Here, there. What if we take this? Then go here, check. I think we're getting this knight. If he goes bishop here, so takes, bishop takes check. I think that's still good for me. In fact, we get this. So we're upgrading our pawn to a bishop, probably, definitely. Oh, or a rook, I guess. He doesn't have an immediate threat. Well, okay, he can go queen here, check. Bishop takes, no. Pawn. I'm wondering if I can go rook here, check. How about knight here? No, then I might lose that knight. So here, there. Takes. Okay, I'm gonna go here, rook here. Oh, I should have done it the other way. That's alright. So I can sort of force some, let's see. Knight here, pawn takes, knight check, king here. That doesn't really do anything. Rook takes. Let's see, pawn here. So we could just develop and hit this pawn. That seems too slow. So his threat is, I guess, pawn here. That's a threat. Okay, I'm gonna go knight here. We're hitting some stuff. He can go pawn here, but then I take this bishop with check, and then if he takes back, then I get these pawns. He may not take back. Okay, he did take back. We also have to look out for the f6 square. See, queen there, pawn. Pawn, bishop. Ay. Sort of running out of time here. So pawn takes. Ugh, this is very, very dicey. This is extremely dicey. Yeah, I'm not like processing everything fast enough. I think knight here is mate. It's a bit sad. Okay, let's try again. So we may just drop the pawn right back, but then I'll go here. I have options of like putting like a diagonal piece on e5 or g5. Is that advisable for him, allowing me to go h6? I guess he also has h3, so it's a bit of a double-edged sword. What do I want to do here? Huh, bishop there. That's a strange move, but a good move probably. So I can go pawn here, but then this cuts my queen off. Sort of want my queen to be able to get in here. We could go pawn here, pawn takes, and if takes, I just take. No, then knight takes, but I can take the queen in between. let's see, here, takes, here, knight takes, pawn takes. Here, takes, takes, knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes bishop. Okay, so if knight takes, bishop takes, then knight takes this. Here, let's see, here, pawn takes, and if takes, then takes. So instead I take this. No, that doesn't work either. Takes. I'm not sure what to do. Yeah. So I could have tried taking this knight. Oh. Oh. Hmm. So I don't really know what's happening. I guess he's just getting a ton of pressure here. Possibly I should just try to be more defensive, drop a bishop here. That probably is better. This also is the added bonus of plugging that square for a pawn to attack my rook or a knight to check my king. He's fallen back to, okay. Maybe that was irresponsible, what I'm doing here. My knight was also hanging. I didn't need to sack that knight, and it didn't really do anything. Well, lost a knight. Did something. Subtle threats here. Well, I can't take... I'd ideally want to take with the knight here, but then he would intermezzo take with check. Yeah, this knight's kind of stranded. This is becoming a bit hopeless in that I don't really have any pieces anymore. And so, like, I'm not like mated, but what's my long-term hope? I mean, what am I playing for? Oh, that's a good move. What just happened? He took a pawn. Oh, my bishop left the defense of that pawn. Alright, I'm going to call it a day. Some fun games. Didn't perform well. Thought I played okay, but yeah, not sure what happened. I bungled a few wins. I got into some complicated situations and just didn't yeah, I'm not sure if my approach was incorrect somehow. Okay, so we were winning here, which makes sense. It felt like we were winning. Rook check, bishop here. Knight takes pawn. What? Alright, I don't know what the computer is talking about. So the reason to do that is to get a pawn in hand? But why can't he just take? Right, knight check. So, king comes up. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's quite advanced. So the knight's coming here, and then the king comes here, and we get a free bishop, and probably more attack. And if he comes up, we actually we sort of force that, or like, you know, either he goes there anyway and loses the bishop, or he loses the queen, because the knights are doing this weird net thing. It's pretty cool. That is a theme you see with like the two knights in this formation, kind of. I mean, in general, knights in Crazyhouse especially can do beautiful things on the board, because there's just a lot of different options. Like you're dropping your knight here, and you're making a little pair of squares that are attacked, or you're dropping your knight here, and you're making like these two squares attacked. These two squares. So there's all these nice nets that you can make with your knights. Knight nets. So the computer has this crazy idea, which seems very difficult to see, at least for me. And I went knight here. I thought this was okay. I guess just a missed opportunity. Bishop takes, queen takes. So pawn takes is bad. Wow. And already here I've given up my supposed advantage. Wow. I didn't see this one. So this was a missed opportunity that I could have seen, where just in this moment before we finished trading, I've only given my opponent pawns, and he only has pawns and queen, and his back rank is like his king is kind of boxed in, so I can force a queen trade basically. Oh, excuse me. We don't even need to take that queen. Knight here, what the flunk? So the computer's on some crazy house. Like, what? Excuse me, sir? So instead of taking the queen, we don't even check. We just put a knight hanging with a pawn. And it's not even like pawn takes, knight takes. Oh, the bishop is pinned. Okay. I was going to say. So why can't he just take this? So we take a queen, yeah. How about this? Right? Why can't we just come back? Queen, king, knight. Okay, that's... And this is also winning. Okay. Alright, so the computer's on some crazy nonsense, but is it good to just trade the queen? Okay, it's not nearly as good, but it's still good. Well, then we do the same thing. Right? Well, why can't he just move the queen? Because then I'll take the bishop. What? Alright, I don't understand what the computer's talking about. Supposedly we're winning. And then we're losing. Could play Eero Supercat with our time control. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Be careful. Don't die.